African style. That's why it's 6 kids. My mom had 10, so I'm trying to catch up with her. Well, he has said it all. So what actually I wanted to share with you, Rotary Club is really dear to my heart, very, very dear to my heart, and you will understand why Rotary Club is so dear to my heart. As he said, I was born in Nigeria, and at 4 years old, I tried to come out of the hut. We had a small hut, and I noticed my legs were weak. I just couldn't walk anymore. And I went to my mom and I said, my legs are weak, something it's wrong. And I had this fever. And my mom, first instinct is to take you to native doctors, because of it's a village. And they will throw stones and dyes and they will fabricate all kinds of things. And they told my mom that my uncle wants me dead. That is why I'm like this, and they decided to go somewhere else. But all the adventures they were doing, trying to figure out what was wrong with me, there's only one graduate in the entire village, and that was my uncle. My uncle was the one that suggested to them, take him to a medical doctor. They will figure out, I think they will know what is wrong with him. And when they took me to the medical doctor, he realized instantly that I contracted this virus called polio, which Rotary Club has been very, very instrumental to that. So they told my mom that I was going to crawl all my life and that I won't be able to use my legs anymore. Oh, I was my mom's favorite, actually, and I'm not exaggerating. My mom really loved me, but she cried. Oh, she cried. She cried day and night. She couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. And my dad got scared. My uncle especially got scared because she was emaciating, losing weight. So they decided to take me away from my mom. And they went and left me in this orphanage. I went there and I was scared. I didn't know where I was. I saw a few kids just like me crawling, and that was really strange. And I tried to run away. I climbed the fence, ran away, they caught me and they brought me back. But there were a few things that happened to me in this orphanage, and they weren't very pleasant. I remember the first time I noticed my mom will always call me my native name with so much love. But for the first time, I'm hearing them calling me names like cripple, names like bastard. And I'll say, are these my names? Why are they calling me that? They will kick me, they will spit at us. And I wonder why they were doing that to us. It was later I realized if you have a disability, they think you're worthless. You're not going to become anything in life. Why invest so much in this kid only for him to just die and go away? So they didn't want to invest in us. That orphanage has been tagged. Any person that walks past will say, oh, those are the places they keep kids with disability. Kids that are cursed, There's this taboo, which is one of the reasons why they used to lock me up, when a lot of kids actually in the village, they will lock them up. They wouldn't want them to come out because it's a shame to the family that this family has been cursed. That's why they have that kid. So besides the name callings they used to call me that I hated so much, they used to starve us. The only way we used to eat food in that orphanage is through donations. Churches will come, they will bring food, organizations, government organizations, and they will donate this food. Instead of them to give us this food, they were keeping it away from us. They starved us. I was always hungry. And the objective is that if we look emaciated like we're dying, people will sympathize and bring more food to us. And I was wondering why? What is the sense in it? But I was so hungry. They have flowers all around the orphanage. I used to pick those flowers and I would eat them just to put something in my stomach. And day after day, I was hungry. So this group that will come, sometimes they will come and they will sit with us and try to talk to us. And one of these small groups came one day and they said, forget what happened to your legs. You have your brains. Go to school, educate yourself. Believe me, you can be whatever you want to be in life. Wow, school. I've never heard of school before. What is school? I was curious. Oh, school is where you learn. You can be whatever you want to be. Then I started telling the matron, take me to school. I want to go to school. Every day I will be bothering her. And she finally said, okay, I've had enough. Took me, registered me in school. I was so excited. I mean, I couldn't sleep the whole night because I was about to go to school. But the closest school was almost 2 miles away. Today you see me on a wheelchair. I can use crutches too because my right leg is very strong. It's not the right size. My right leg is supposed to be twice the size. My left leg, it affected my left leg because I can't even move it. I cannot even move my toes. But I can stand up a little bit and use the crutches to walk. And they said, okay, you want to go to school? Go to school. They bought us uniforms. We wore our uniforms. We were about to go to school. No transportation. I had to drag myself for almost 2 miles just because I wanted education. It lasted for 3 years of my life. You know, in Africa, the sun is so hot. They have a lot of dirt road. We have bottles everywhere, broken bottles, and it will cut us, and nails. My friend, a nail pierced inside his leg. And they did it the traditional way where they put a knife in the fire and they just dig it out. It was a sight you don't want to see. But we went through all that. And it was so painful. And I was saying, why am I going through all this? You know, it's hard enough to have a disability, but why am I going through all this? And I had nowhere to turn to. My mom wasn't there. My dad wasn't there. I felt that they rejected me and they just left me. I said, my mom that loved me so much, how can she leave me? You know? But they told the orphanage actually that my parents were dead so that they will accept me there, because that place is supposed to be for orphans. And they went back and told my mom that I died. My mom said she knew I wasn't dead. I know that's a story. That's a question most kids ask me in school. Did you ever see your mom again? You know, I've been to over 350 schools trying to encourage them and tell them this is the greatest nation you can ever be in. You have to be grateful. Be grateful for what you have here and be thankful and put the best in you. You know, a lot of kids in Africa makes more effort than the kids I find here. You know, I started going to schools because one day I wanted to go get gas in my car. And I saw a few kids and they ran away and they scared me. And I was saying, I went to the guy in the kiosk and I said, why are these kids running away? Oh, he said, these are kids that don't want to stay in school. And I couldn't comprehend it. They have all these and they don't want to go to school. So it made me go and I registered an organization, a company called Champions Heart, where I go to schools and I try to make the kids understand what they have in this country. I've been to over 350 schools in 3 states, trying to talk to them because it pains me. I know what it took for me to get an education in Africa. So I will come back and remember one time my legs were so weak I couldn't go to school. I was so tired. And I told the matron, I noticed my right leg is fairly strong. I can stand up a little bit, you know, and I will use a stick and I will stand up. I told the matron, see, I see crutches. I was playing with a magazine in the living room. We call it parlor. I was playing and I saw these kids, you know, in England, crutches, wheelchairs, and I wrote to them, please send me one. Even if it's broken, I will fix it. And I was in school one day. A postman came. You know, postmen, they're like Santa Claus to us. We know they're bringing something. He came and said, he has a package for me. Package? Nobody has ever sent me a package. He said, yeah. I went, he gave me this long box. In it was 6 pairs of crutches. I was so excited. They're all mine. I asked for a broken one, you know. He said, no, they sent it from England, where I wrote to. And I, so thrilled, I took it to the matron and I said, look at what I did. I wrote to England and they sent me 6 pairs of crutches. And she took it from me and she said, how dare you? You didn't even ask me for permission. You wrote to England? You know what that is? Took it and she locked it in the store. She watched me crawl for another year, knowing too well what that meant to me. You know, I wonder why anybody can do that. Today I have kids. I'm looking at my kids and I said, how can any human treat a kid like that? When she gave me, after a year, she gave me back the crutches and said, you know, I hope you've learned your lessons. I gave 5 pairs away and I only took one. I needed one. I gave the other kids the other ones. But life became so difficult that my grade 2 teacher, every time I called to school, she would come and sit by me. She would say, Samuel, how are you today? You doing well? She said she saw this sad kid all the time. I would crawl and I would have dirty hands, dusty clothes, and she would bring a bowl of water. She would ask me to wash my hands, and I'll wash my hands, and I would sit down. She was so pleasant. Nobody has ever been that pleasant. And I was saying, is she faking it? Is she real? Why is she so nice and everybody else is mean? Every day she was committed to doing that. In Nigeria, if you write exams, you know, they call it test here. If you fail, they will make you repeat that class. It doesn't matter if you grow mustache, you will still repeat that class. You understand? You don't go to the next class. So I don't play with my exams. I studied hard. I was about to go to school and it started raining. It was the raining season. And I couldn't. I stayed there and I said, what am I going to do? They're going to make me repeat the class all over again. We still didn't have a transportation in that orphanage. Surprisingly, my grade 2 teacher left 45 students in class. And she walked to the orphanage with an umbrella. And she came and said, Sam, climb on my back. I climbed on her back and she tied me with what they call African wrapper. Tied me, because they have layers of it, tied me so that I'm firm behind. And she walked me almost 2 miles to school. Nobody has ever done anything like that. Nobody. I've never heard any compliment from anybody, let alone somebody helping me. I was staring at her, and she could tell I couldn't understand why she did it. And she came to me, she said, Sam, I've always loved you. I care about you. You should know that. And sorry, I'm getting emotional, but and she changed the way I saw myself. She made me feel like I'm a human being. She made me feel the love I missed from my mom. She was beginning to show to me. She made me open up, and I told her, I'm always hungry when I come to school. They wouldn't give us food. And they, you know, I remember when I first got there, I started wetting my bed. There's something they call the bed wetting. It's now the doctors are saying my nerves are not good enough, that I cannot control it very well. But as a kid, always wet my bed. And the matron will come and she will grab me, she dragged me out of the room. She used a whip. They call it a koboko. It's animal skin dried up, they're woven together. She used it on my back. Not just me, we were like 8 of us. She will whip us. We will hold a pillar. If you let go, they'll start all over again. 30 strokes of the cane. I will scream at the top of my lungs, hoping somebody out there will hear me and come and say, what are you doing to this kid? But you know what? Nobody came. Remember, they thought that is a home for people that have been cursed. She'll whip us. 4 years old. I was 12 years old when I stopped wetting my bed. I was the last person to stop wetting my bed. The rest of the kids stopped. I go to school, they call me the bedwetter. They spread my name everywhere. Oh, he's a bedwetter, he still wets his bed. Oh, he's 12 years old, he's still wetting his bed. The shame that followed me everywhere. I named this organization Pro-Esteem, Project Esteem. I had zero esteem as a kid. When you give somebody their self-esteem, it changes the way they look at things. And my grade 2 teacher gave me that. She said, Sam, I believe in you. Whatever I want to be in life, you will be in life. You just have to believe it. Not very long, a lady came and said, oh, they're looking for athletes with disability that wants to do sports. You want to try? I said, oh yeah, I want to try. And they were wondering why I said I wanted to try. I was this very skinny kid. Today I'm a little buffed up, But I was so skinny when I was a kid that they were looking at me, you want to try sports? I said, yeah. I competed. They traveled. They took us travel in Nigeria. So all these hundreds of people with disability came for the first time to do wheelchair sports. I was so excited. I said, I'm going to do them all. They said, no, you can't do them all. You can try. The most you can do is 5. Track and field. You can do javelin, discus, shot put. Then you can do track, 100 and 200. I said, okay, I'll do the most I can. I did it, and I was the most decorated athlete on that first try. I got 5 medals.
Nice.
That was when I knew I got it. Thank you. And I started traveling, representing first my state. I was competing and I was winning medals for my state. Then they said, oh, we can take him international. They started taking me international. I went to England and I was winning medals internationally. Then I became the best athlete, wheelchair athlete in Africa, the fastest on 100 meters and 200 meters. That was when they now said, okay, maybe he has a chance to qualify for the Paralympic Games. So there was one held in South Africa, Johannesburg, and I went and I won 2 medals there. They said, okay, maybe he has a chance in the Paralympic Games. So my country said, you know what, we want you to represent us in the Paralympic Games. So that was how I came to United States, to San Diego specifically, because they have an Olympic stadium and the country sent me there for training. Unfortunately, I didn't go, and you wonder why. My country always had political problems or financial problems, They're very good at stealing money. So they called and said, we're sorry, we don't have the means to send you to the Paralympic Games, So I decided to make this my home. I stayed, and one day I went to the trash can to throw my trash, and I saw a pair of crutches, brand new. And I said, they threw away crutches here. It took me back to the days when I didn't have crutches. So I cleaned it up, and it gave me an idea. How about if I talk to people, they give me wheelchairs and crutches, and I will send them back home. And I started doing it. I started talking to people. If you have wheelchairs, you have crutches, give to me. Then my church was behind me. They were helping me send these things. So it's not just organizations, but the church was so very instrumental. And I would send this wheelchair back home to people where I grew up, and it changed their lives. I remember we didn't have water. There was no running water in the orphanage. So Rotary Club came and said, we're going to do a borehole. They gave us a borehole. We never had problems with water. Actually, people from all around the community were coming to that orphanage to get water because Rotary Club was there. They started accepting more people in the orphanage, so we went from 12 to like 32, and we didn't have accommodation. Rotary Club came and built another hostel, furnished it too, put beds and all that, and we all moved there. The big boys went there first, then the younger ones were still at the other side. But Rotary Club has been very, very consistent when it comes to, and I don't know, they said the polio has been eradicated, I heard. I don't know how many minutes I have. How many minutes do I have?
Yeah,
I'm still good?
you have about 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes, okay. So Rotary Club has been very, very vital. You guys are like family, you know. They have what they call Rotary Club too. I think it's in younger people or college, yes. So I joined the Rotary Club then. So, they always see the Rotary Club as people that has a lot of money, you know. Maybe you all have a lot of money, but that is how we see the Rotary clubs, you know, because if they can just do things like that, you know, we almost worship the Rotary Club growing up because they were like godfathers to us. But life changed for me because one person decided to love me. You know, not just talk about it. There are people that are coming to the orphanage and bring food and talk about love. But one person showed me love, and that changed me. And I am today who I am because of that grade 2 teacher, Mrs. Fubara. I'm going to take a few questions. You know, I know some of you might have a few questions for me. Yes?
So I was actually going to touch on that. So the wonderful story about your second grade teacher.
Yes.
Right, what she did for you. Forgive the bluntness of my question, but do you think we'd be seeing you here today if it weren't for her?
Absolutely not. I like that question. When I came to the United States, I said, there's one person I need to thank. Before I left Nigeria, I said, before I will go, I want to go share the story with this grade 2 teacher. My Mrs. Fubara is her name. So I went looking for her. I went to the house she was in the city. They said she's not there anymore. They said she moved to the village, you know, because she doesn't teach anymore. I now said, I went to the village looking for her. You have to know the last name if you go to a village in Nigeria before you can find. There's no address like 422, you know, take freeway 5, exit. That's nothing like that. You know, you have to know the family name, then you ask, oh, where is this family? They will show you the compound. So I went and I saw her sitting on the stool when I was walking. She saw me, she still recognized me. She got up, she ran, she gave me this big hug, almost threw me on the ground. She was so excited. And I said to her, I qualified to go to the Paralympic Games. And I just can't leave without coming to say thank you for all the things you did. You know, we cried together and it was just a beautiful time. You know, to me, she was the most beautiful person I've ever met. You know, so when I left, stayed here, I couldn't travel back because it was just too expensive for me to go back. I stayed like 6 years before I was able to gather some money to go back. And when I went back, I went looking for her again. You know, I bought some few things and I went, they said she was really sick and she died. And it broke my heart, but luckily she has a daughter. You know, I was able to give some of these things to the daughter and said, your mom meant a lot to me. So that's a very good question. Yes?
Samuel, before you leave today, I want to make sure you talk about two things. Well, do two things. Number one is I met you years ago through the senior painting we do with Lisbon Hospice.
Yes.
And you have a fantastic voice. So President Bob and I want to make sure before you leave, if you haven't seen that, you have to see it. So,
Okay.
I want you to talk about how you got involved with Lisbon Hospice and the senior painting.
Well, in the orphanage, the only thing we can give to people that comes to donate is singing. They used to teach us a lot of songs, you know. We learn songs upon songs, and I got tired of learning these songs. You know, I actually hated songs before because, you know, these people will donate food. You won't give us the food, but we will be singing and singing to them. You know, so I didn't like singing, but we learned so many songs that when I came to the U.S., you know, I joined the choir when I was back home. When I came to the U.S. and somebody says, can you sing the national anthem? I said, I grew up with it. I heard it in Nigeria a lot, but I don't know the words. So he said, well, I have the words for you. As the lady said, I said, okay. She gave it to me. So there is this they call it disabled services. It used to be called disabled services in San Diego. They were doing a program. They asked me if I could sing to kick it off. I said, okay, give me the words, I'll go learn it. I learned it, I came back and sang it, and they really loved it. So I don't know how it went. The Padres heard that I could sing, and they asked me to come sing the national anthem. So I went, and one guy said, I hope you're singing the American national anthem, not the Nigerian. I said, of course it's American. But I went and I sang it, and they called me again, and I've done it 5 times. But the last one I did was at the Petco, not the Petco Park, through Fox News. They were looking for who will sing the Big Bay Boom. And they said there are hundreds of people out there in San Diego that wants to do it. So they said, send us a video, take a video. I sent a video, and they said, wow, it looks like you're the final 5. So they now said, well, we'll tell you in the next few days. So in the next few days, they said, actually, it's you. We picked you. So the Big Bay Boom, I did it, and I think I enjoyed that one because they did some makeup. I felt like a celebrity for a minute. So that was good. Yeah. So singing, it's my passion. I love doing that. And I got
just and we want to hear God Bless America before any time.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I got involved with Elizabeth Hospice. I did it for an organization called Challenge Athletes Foundation. And Lisa is married to the guy that works there, Nico. So Lisa said, can you have him come do it? So I go to the senior living homes and veterans, it's dear to my heart. Veterans made this country what it is today. So it's always a pleasure to go and just tell them, thank you for serving this country. That's how I got involved with Elizabeth.
I was going to say, you do an amazing job, just not with your singing, but with how you talk to the veterans while you're there, too.
Yes.
Very impressive.
Awesome.
Very speaker. I do have a quick one for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I missed it, but did you ever see your mom again?
I actually did. It's one of the first questions kids ask me, I was in school, actually, when the postman came, that class, I was there when a new student came, and he came to me and he said, he heard my name because, they call names in school, and he said, present, I'm here, present. So they called my name and I said, present. And this kid, new kid, first day, he came to me and said, I'm your cousin. My cousin? He said, yeah, you're my cousin. I said, okay, nice to meet you, cousin. Because I thought he was joking. No, he was serious. He said, my dad was the one that took you to the orphanage. He told me the story. Oh, I didn't believe him. The next day, he was so excited, he brought his dad. His dad came to school and said, yes, I'm your uncle. I took you to the orphanage. Actually, your parents are still alive.
Oh.
That was just too much for me to handle. So he went to the orphanage, told them, yes, I have parents, they're still alive. He will want me to come and see them. So I went, traveled with him, and he was introducing me to my family. I had like 4 sisters, 3 brothers, and I wouldn't have believed this is my family because, I'm strangers. But when I saw my immediate younger brother, I knew this is my family because then I look at his face, like he was just tall, handsome, and I said, this guy looks more like me, No, but just about, he looks just like me. That was enough to tell me that this is my family. So, yeah, my mom danced. She danced. She wouldn't stop dancing. She took the first layer of a wrapper, put it on the floor, and asked me to walk on it, which is the highest honor you can give to your child. And I walked on it, and she was dancing. She was singing all day, wouldn't stop. She said I knew you were still alive. I could feel it. I didn't believe them. But, I love that. Unfortunately, I don't speak my native language anymore. She doesn't speak English. So we will sit and we cannot even communicate. We'll just look at each other, and I can tell she knows, she can tell I love her, and I can tell she loves me. We just stare at each other. But one of the things I had to learn to ask her is, Ebim Pami, I'm hungry. That's number one for me. So I learned that real fast. Yes.
Is there a movie about your life? It would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that. I and a script writer, we sat down and we wrote everything about my story. And since 2022, after the COVID, we've been trying to get to Hollywood, and he's doing a great job trying to get it in there. So they're looking at it right now, to speak. And I'm writing a book. I'm on the 80-something page. I don't know why I've not finished it yet. I want to do a 200-page book about my life. So it's in progress. Yeah. So,
listen, I know we want to hear this song.
oh,
We got it. If you're up for it.
all right. I'll sing. I'll share the Star Spangled Banner. I'll do it the way I did it in the Petco. How about that?
Yes.
Yes. It's a flag here. Oh, there's a flag here.
Yes.
Okay. Feel free to rise if you want. We gotta honor this great country. This country, oh my! I grew up thinking I would never be in this country. I watched it in movies and I said, someday I'll be in America. And now I'm here. I'm a citizen of this country now, after all these years. So, thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
God bless America.
Oh my. Oh great.
So beautiful.
Well, before I do that, I want to let you guys know there is a need. There is such a need back home with people with disabilities, and any way, any form, no matter how little, don't think it's too little. Your currency is so strong now. When I was coming, before I came to the United States, $1 was equivalent to 1 naira. Our currency is called 1 naira. So now, $1 is 160 naira.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's how bad it is. So $1 goes a long way to help people back home. And I'm the only one here that can help. There's nobody in that orphanage that left the country. I'm the only one that left, and I'm the one that goes back to help. So Pro-Esteem is to give back people with disability, back their esteem. I want to be Mrs. Fubara to those kids. I surely want to be Mrs. Fubara, so that I can go back to my grave smiling, that I helped one person there. So, God bless this country. God bless America.
Yes.
All right. Let's do it.